Ali, one of the things that's come up in some of our different conversations with folks, and one of the challenges that people face is like when they're beginning to become interested in pursuing different opportunities, usually there's like this question of, well, I've never had to look for a job before, or I've never had to entertain that conversation. I think every time walking away, people are always blown away by like the level of thought or like the infrastructure you have in place to just have really great conversations with tons of different people, regardless if you're looking for an opportunity or not. So I was wondering if you could just give a couple of the practices that you do to just build great relationships with people over interesting stuff. Because every time we've talked about that, it usually is like exploding people's minds as we're talking.
In a grander scheme, I think people should be always looking for opportunities at all times, right? Internally, externally, and that's where the networking piece comes in. Mainly because unless you think about this all the time and continue to have the conversations, you really honestly don't know till that moment comes. But most of the time, this just moment shows up out of nowhere, and you're not ready because you have not no evaluations done. There's a famous saying, it says the best time to eat the hors d'oeuvres are they're being passed around, and the moment that you're not ready to eat, now you're gonna miss them, all right? And that comes with like relationships with past employees that you either manage, you're a part of, in the same organization, reaching out to people, having these coffee chats or whatever your company is calling donut dates. Um, my MBA network, Berkeley, is very helpful. My UCS, UC Santa Barbara, kind of staying in touch with your networks, taking time, like not eating lunch alone or finding opportunities for dinners. And outside of your network, maybe having good connections with investors who invest in your companies or recruitment agencies. There are so many great ones that are working with SFELC very closely, introducing yourself to them. And additional partners like Craft Ventures and Maris Capitals, or you just need to stay constantly in the loop with people. The second part, I think, getting out of your comfort zone and kind of going out there and reaching out. So just choosing courage over comfort and not really just saying that, well, I'm not ready. It's just, you should never let like anything like formal education or anything just stop you from like striving and having conversation or asking for more responsibility or reaching out to people, which is, I think, tied to not waiting for that perfect time.
Ali, do you have any thoughts around this?
Well, first of all, I think I can learn a lot from Ali about how to best network. But I do think, staying as engaged as you can in a variety of communities, which I think is, quite difficult right now, considering a lot of us are remote. But, it means that we still should make that time to lean in. I view my relationship to people that I work with or people that I manage right now as actually like a lifelong commitment in a way. I often find that those relationships that you build with people that you've worked with very closely, and if you're already supporting one another, even after you move on, that ideally should continue if you have that kind of relationship with that person. And so that's, as like a leader, that's something that I often employ. And I think because of that, I end up with these really strong connections, even beyond past opportunities. And considering I work in a very particular industry, I'm very focused in healthcare tech, that often pays dividends when I need to go reach out and, maybe it's like help with a particular vendor even, or something like that. I basically, similar situation where opportunities end up presenting themselves through past networks that maybe I even help support. People often, want to give back to one another. And so I think that's a great path.